Have you ever wondered why the people you love the most can destroy you the deepest? Why betrayal doesn't come from enemies, but from those who swore they never would? Why sometimes being kind is the quickest path to your own ruin? Today, we go where most fear to tread. Today, we ask the question no one dares say out loud. What if becoming cold-blooded is the only way to truly survive, even with the people you love? Before we dive into the shadows of power, betrayal, and emotional armor, hit subscribe to Philosophical Pulse. We uncover uncomfortable truths here. And this one, it might just change how you see everyone around you, including yourself. The illusion of loyalty. Niccolò Machiavelli, a man feared for his brutal insights into human nature, didn't believe in fairy tales. He didn't write for the hopeful. He wrote for the survivor. In his eyes, loyalty was not a virtue. It was a weapon, a temporary alliance, a mask worn by necessity until the mask slips. Machiavelli believed that love makes us blind, but power makes us see. And when the two collide, one must submit. But here's the twist. The enemy isn't always external. Often it's your lover, your brother, your childhood friend, the people you'd kill for or die for. And that's what makes them dangerous. Because love demands trust, and trust is the currency of betrayal. Love, the soft spot that gets exploited. Let's be brutally honest. You've been hurt before. Not by a stranger in a dark alley, but by someone who smiled at you, hugged you, told you, "I'd never hurt you." Yet they did. Why? Because emotions are leverage. And in a world that rewards dominance, those who can control their emotions control everyone else's. Machiavelli would argue, if you're not willing to hurt feelings, you're not ready to lead. If you're not willing to cut ties, you're not ready to rule. Even kings have families, but the throne is never shared. The mask of compassion. Let's talk about emotional manipulation. When you're warm, giving, and open, people gather around you. But not all who gather come in peace. Some come to take. Some come to weaken you. Some come because they know you won't say no. Machiavelli wasn't heartless. He just knew that the world punishes softness. Compassion without boundaries becomes a cage you built yourself. Have you ever done something out of love and later felt like a fool? You gave too much, stayed too long, forgave too easily, and they walked away, untouched, while you bled. This is why cold-bloodedness isn't cruelty. It's strategy. It's survival. If this is making your heart beat a little faster, if it feels like I'm talking directly to something you've lived, you're not alone. Comment below with the moment you realized being nice was costing you more than it gave. Don't forget to subscribe to Philosophical Pulse, where we dissect power, pain, and what it really means to wake up from the dream. The family trap. Let's go deeper. What if your greatest weakness isn't a stranger or an enemy, but your own family? We're taught to endure, to forgive endlessly, to stick by blood. But Machiavelli would ask, at what cost? If your own brother blocks your path to greatness, if your mother sows seeds of doubt, if your partner undercuts your ambition, are they still your ally? Or have they become your prison? You see, blood may be thicker than water, but water can drown you faster. Betrayal as an evolutionary signal. Here's something no one tells you. Betrayal is not always a tragedy. Sometimes it's a message from the universe. It's evolution saying, you're too open, you're too trusting, harden up. That heartbreak, it was your awakening. That lie, a lesson in power. That betrayal, a mirror. You were chosen to be tested, and now you get to choose. Will you become wiser or bitter? Machiavelli said, it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But what he really meant was this. If love weakens you, fear will protect you. Pause. Right now ask yourself, who in your life is taking advantage of your warmth? Write it down. Sit with the discomfort. Comment if you dare. And see who else is going through the same silent war. And don't forget, this journey is just beginning. Click subscribe to Philosophical Pulse now. Because in the next chapter, we go deeper. We explore the 3 types of people you must cut off, even if you love them. One of them might be in your life right now. And if you skip that part, you'll miss the very core of what could save your future.
Reopening the wound with purpose. Let me ask you something dangerous. What if the person hurting you doesn't even know it? What if their presence in your life is so familiar, so normalized, that you've stopped noticing how heavy it is? Machiavelli understood something most philosophers ignored. People don't have to hate you to destroy you. Sometimes, they love you to death. Literally, emotionally, professionally. That's why you must learn to cut without flinching. To choose clarity over comfort. Power over pity. Truth over tradition. Here are the 3 emotional traps. The 3 types of people Machiavelli would tell you to eliminate from your life, no matter how painful it may be. Type 1. The emotional leech, the one who bleeds you slowly. You know them. The friend who always needs you, but never shows up when you need them. The sibling who calls only when they're in crisis. The lover who expects you to rescue them from themselves, again and again. They don't scream. They don't hit. They just drain you. Machiavelli would say, when someone costs you more than they contribute, they are not your ally. They are your enemy in disguise. You are not their partner. You are their emotional crutch. And the longer you carry them, the slower you move. You're not cold for walking away. You're smart. The first cut may hurt, but the second one is on you. Reflective challenge. If someone's face just flashed in your mind, don't ignore it. Comment below with just one word, drained. No names, just recognition. Let others know you see it now. And if this is hitting deep, don't forget, subscribe to Philosophical Pulse. Because the deeper we go, the more painful it gets. But pain is clarity, and clarity is power. Type 2. The passive saboteur, the one who smiles while undermining you. This one is tricky. They say they love you. They support you to your face. But behind closed doors, they downplay your wins, laugh at your goals, subtly suggest that maybe you're not cut out for greatness. These are not critics. They're insecure allies. And nothing is more dangerous than someone who fears your success more than your failure. Machiavelli would label them the silent competitor. They do not confront, they erode. Watch their energy when you speak your dreams. Do their eyes light up, or do their smiles tighten? The moment you threaten their comfort zone, they will become your jailer, not your cheerleader. Cut them off with no warning, because you don't owe explanations to someone who has weaponized their closeness. The knife in the heart. This next one, it's the hardest to face, because we all have at least one, and cutting this one feels like cutting out your own rib. Type 3. The historical anchor, the one you love because of the past, not the present. They were there for you once. You laughed together. You cried together. You built history together. But history is not a reason to stay. Maybe they've changed. Maybe you have. Maybe the connection you once had is now just an echo. But here's what Machiavelli teaches. The past is valuable, but when it begins to hold you back, it becomes a chain. This person isn't toxic. They're just no longer aligned. And in staying, you betray not just yourself, but them too. You become resentful. They become confused. The relationship becomes a ghost, walking in your life, haunting the present with yesterday's relevance. Cutting off this person isn't about hate. It's about evolution. And those who don't evolve with you must stay behind. Right now, you know who these people are. You've felt the sting. You've carried the weight. You've delayed the conversation. But ask yourself this. If you met them today for the first time, would you let them in? If the answer is no, then you have your answer. Comment anchor lifted if you're ready to let go. And hit subscribe to Philosophical Pulse, because the next section will give you the tactical blueprint to detach with dignity, stealth, and power. The Machiavellian way. Preview of what's next. Keep them watching. Next, we go deep into the mind of a strategist. How do you emotionally detach while appearing warm? How do you move on without inviting guilt? And how do you rebuild your circle with power players, not parasites? It's all coming next. But don't skip, because at the very end of this video, there's a message you cannot afford to miss. A final truth, Machiavelli's darkest insight, that ties it all together. Miss it, and none of this will matter. Stay with me. The psychological break. Letting go without looking back. Most people don't fail to let go because they're weak. They fail because they think letting go must feel good. But Machiavelli never promised freedom without discomfort. He knew the truth. Letting go doesn't feel good. It feels like dying, because you're not just leaving people. You're leaving a version of yourself behind. But that's the point. To become something greater, you must first become someone else. The emotional blueprint of strategic detachment. Here's how the emotionally elite detach, without causing war, without drama, without guilt. It's a 3-step method Machiavelli would admire. Step 1. Fade with intention, not emotion. Don't explode. Don't confront unless necessary. Just shift your energy. Fewer responses. Shorter sentences. Less access. Your silence becomes the loudest message. I am not who I used to be, and you no longer get to consume me. People who feed off your presence will feel this like a storm, and they'll panic. But you must remain unmoved, because emotional detachment isn't apathy, it's control. Step 2. Play the role until you're free. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. You don't need closure. You don't owe an exit speech. Sometimes you simply pretend to care less, until one day you actually do. Machiavelli wrote, "Men must be either caressed or annihilated. If you must harm them, do it in a way they cannot respond." Now don't take that literally, but emotionally. The message is this. Don't leave doors half open. Don't half leave. Disappear from their reality without making yourself their villain. Step 3. Rebuild in silence. Rise in shadows. Don't announce your healing. Don't proclaim your new boundaries. Just become someone they can no longer reach. While they gossip, you grow. While they question, you calculate. While they regret, you recreate yourself. This silence, this stillness, it's not weakness. It's the seed of your second life. Emotional interlude. Breaking the pattern. Think about this. You're watching this because some part of you knows you've been too available, too generous, too exposed. You didn't protect your energy. You offered it like a buffet, and they feasted. And now, you're here. This is not a coincidence. This is your pivot point. Do this with urgency. Stop what you're doing, and hit subscribe to Philosophical Pulse right now. This isn't just a video. It's a transformation. If you're still watching, you've crossed the line most never reach. The line between emotional survival and strategic awakening. Share this with someone who's stuck in emotional quicksand. Help them rise too. And comment, "I choose silence." Because that silence, it's not retreat. It's rebirth. The cost of detachment and why it's worth it. Will it hurt? Yes. Will people guilt you? Yes. Will they call you cold? Selfish? Distant? Absolutely. But ask yourself this. Would you rather be called cold or consumed? Would you rather carry guilt or carry people who break you? Detachment isn't about becoming a robot. It's about finally realizing that you are not responsible for everyone else's comfort, especially when that comfort kills your growth. Scene 12. Machiavelli's final layer. Cold compassion. Here's where it gets paradoxical. You don't have to be cruel to be cold. You don't have to destroy to detach. You don't have to hate to disappear. Machiavelli wasn't heartless. He was selectively invested. He knew that true compassion requires strategy, that sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself and for others, is to walk away with dignity, to let people go before resentment poisons what little good remains. That's what we call cold compassion. Final emotional reflection. Look in the mirror tonight and ask yourself, who have I been holding on to because I'm scared of being alone? Who have I let damage me repeatedly just because I don't want to be the bad guy? And more importantly, who could I become if I finally let go? Comment below. Not for me, for you. Write what you're letting go of. Make it real. Make it final. End hook for final part tease. Must watch till the end. We're not done. In the final part of this journey, we'll explore why power and peace cannot coexist, how to rebuild your inner empire after emotional exile, and Machiavelli's final, darkest truth that even his disciples rarely discuss. If you skip it, everything you've heard so far will be incomplete. There's a revelation at the end, a message you weren't ready for, until now. So don't stop here. Don't let this just be another video. Let it be your turning point. Machiavelli's final warning: power, solitude, and rebirth. The lonely path of power. Here's a truth no one tells you. Power is lonely. Not because you want it to be, but because it has to be. Machiavelli warned his prince. You must learn to stand alone, for those who stand with you may do so only while it benefits them. Let that sink in. Your support system could vanish the moment your value drops. Your circle might just be a reflection of your usefulness. So here's the uncomfortable question. If you lost your power today, who would still stay? Exactly. Solitude isn't sadness. It's power concentrated. There's a silence that comes when you cut the noise of people-pleasing, fake alliances, and outdated connections. That silence? It's terrifying at first. Then, it becomes holy. Machiavelli believed in strategic isolation, not out of bitterness, but for clarity. In solitude you can think clearly. You can plan. You can hear your own voice again, not the echo of others' expectations. And in that silence, something miraculous happens. You start to become who you were always meant to be. No filters. No guilt. No performance. Just you, raw, sharp, real. Rebuilding the inner empire. So what now? You've cut ties. You've detached. You've silenced the noise. What next? You rebuild, but this time with power in mind. Here's how. Rule 1. Only allow people into your life who challenge you without draining you. Rule 2. Trust slowly, test consistently, and detach quickly. Rule 3. Make your peace non-negotiable. If someone costs you that, they're too expensive. Your new empire isn't built on sand anymore. It's built on self-respect, boundaries, silence, focus. This is where the real version of you is born. Machiavelli's final, darkest truth. You've come this far. You stayed through the discomfort. So here's what I promised you from the beginning. The final Machiavellian truth. Are you ready? A ruler who wants to remain in power must learn to act against faith, against charity, against humanity, and against religion when necessary. In modern terms, goodness alone will not save you. You must be willing to appear kind, while thinking like a wolf. You must smile, while holding the dagger of discernment behind your back. You must love, but never worship, because the moment you place someone else's happiness above your survival, you become their servant. And Machiavelli would call that a crime against yourself. If this changed how you see the world, even just a little, hit subscribe to Philosophical Pulse. This isn't just a channel. It's a war room for the mind, a sanctuary for the strategist, a forge for the emotionally awake. Comment below. I rise, and let everyone know, you're no longer here to be used. You're here to become untouchable. Let them call you cold. Let them say you changed. Because you did. You stopped bleeding for people who would have watched you die. You stopped waiting to be chosen. You started choosing yourself. That's not heartless. That's Machiavellian rebirth. And this is just the beginning. Don't forget this moment. Don't go back to sleep. Watch this video again if you must. Send it to someone who's still stuck. But above all, never apologize for choosing yourself, because no one else will do it for you. Philosophical Pulse. Subscribe. Rise. Rule.